everybody. It's your old buddy, Uncle Rich here, the truth teller for Who's Telling the Truth. And guys, today's show is called The Green New Deal. Now, we've all heard of the New Deal, right? Well, this is the Green New Deal, and this is show 249. Today's date is February 4th. It's the day after the Super Bowl. And guys, for the first time in history, the very first time in history, the Super Bowl had a commercial on it with an electric car. That's right. Audi featured an electric car, and Budweiser took it one step further, and Budweiser proved that their beer is now being brewed with the help of the wind. And guys, Budweiser is now officially 100% renewable. And we're going to show you that clip. We're going to have a lot of fun because we're going to show you some facts and we're going to make a lot of sense tonight. But, you know, a lot of guys are going to be saying, you know, Rich, you know, exactly what is the Green New Deal? So we're going to play a short little clip to introduce you. So Judy, number 00, please.
It's called the Green New Deal, a platform pushed by some Democrats designed to tackle climate change while stimulating the economy. So, what exactly is it?
Okay, so what exactly is it? Guys, that's what we do here. We ask questions. And the first question we want to ask, I'm telling you, this is not a question. This is going to be a shocker. And this is from Tommy. Tommy, who spells her name T-O-M-I. But guys, the most important thing is I want you to listen to what she has to say. So Judy, clip number 01, please.
The American people, we don't want a handout. We want the government's hand off.
All right, guys, you heard that, right? We don't want a handout. We want hands off. So in other words, Judy, can you play that again?
The American people, we don't want a handout. We want the government's hand off.
One more time. Didn't show up.
The American people, we don't want a handout. We want the government's hand off.
Guys, this is how they do it. This is how you trick the simple folk. You tell them that the people that want a handout are the moochers and the takers, and the people that want the hands off are the people that run the fossil fuel companies and generate electricity by burning fossil fuels. And guys, so they want to be able to pollute without having to pay for the damage that they're causing. That's right. Just like they want to dump their sewage into the air and not be responsible for it. But guys, you know, what happens is when you watch Fox News, you get somebody like Jesse Waters that preaches this bull, and just listen, and he wants everybody to think that the government is trying to take control of them. The Democrats, excuse me, are trying to take control. So Judy, let's have clip number 02, please.
The Democrats have now just become greedy control freaks. They want to tell you what to wear, what to say, what to drive, what to eat, what to drink, and they want to take your health care, they want to take your money, and they want to take your kids' money.
Guys, can you believe this? So you're sitting home watching Fox News and you hear this, and what do? You start to believe it. And this is the problem. But tonight, we're not going to let them get away with the BS, and we're going to start by really finding out who the freeloaders are. So Judy, let's have still number 3, please. And guys, this is very, very simple. Now this has to deal with the estate tax. And we're really not going to feature the estate tax, but here's the premise and here's the idea. Ending the estate tax would give tax breaks of up to $63 billion to the Walton family that run Walmart. It would give $39 billion to the Koch brothers, $28 billion to the Mars Candy Bar family, $13 billion to the Cox Cable family, and zero to more than 99.8% of Americans. And guys, that's from the source is Bernie. So Judy, come back to me. So guys, we're going to reinforce that now with clip number 3A. And let's see what Mr. Hanauer had to say. Since when did it become radical to expect giant profitable corporations to pay their workers enough to live without food stamps? Taxpayers are subsidizing companies like Walmart. That isn't real capitalism, it's socialism for the rich. Judy, come back to me. And guys, this is what happens when people qualify for food stamps. Why do they qualify? Because they're not being paid enough. That's it. That's it. Let's be honest. But you have the Walton family and the Koch brothers. What do? They don't need the money. But it's the greed. And this is what we gotta fight, and this is what we gotta go against. And our next still, Judy, can you bring up number 4? This is OAC. And guys, this is very simple. Do we want to live in a society where billionaires have their own personal Uber and people, that got a little cut off on the bottom, so I got to see if I could bring this up, and people who work 80-hour weeks can't feed their kids? So Judy, come back to me. So guys, can you imagine working 2 jobs and not being able to adequately take care of your kids? And this is the problem. The money is going to the top. And this is why AOC has been called the new boogie woman. Yeah, we used to have boogie men, but now we have a boogie woman. And we're going to have a lot of fun with this next clip. And guys, don't forget, we're showing you the short clips in the beginning so that later on, if there's something that you really appreciate and really want to find out more about, you can just fast forward it on YouTube. All right? So anyway, we're going to have a little fun with Bill Maher and the timeline. And think about where AOC got her timeline from. So Judy, let's have clip 5, please.
The right wing has a new boogie woman in
Boogie
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and she is being called a hysterical, not ready for primetime crazy lady because she protested for a Green New Deal outside of Nancy Pelosi's office, and also said, the world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. To which I say, thank you. It's about time.
Thank you. You got it. Somebody would have said it.
It's about time someone framed the issue with the appropriate level of urgency. And when she cited 12 years, that wasn't a number she just pulled out of her ass like Trump does. She was referring to a timeline.
And guys, guess where that timeline came from? The International Panel on Climate Change. And I mean, you've got thousands of scientists that are all coming up with a consensus. And guys, let's be honest with each other. 73% of the American people now understand the globe is warming. Even the simple people, the simple folk like Uncle Joey, Ken Johnson, and Eddie Shaluk are finally starting to come around. And why? Guys, look what's happening with this polar vortex. And look what happened to Chicago. I think, don't quote me, because it's so crazy, but maybe you should quote me. I think in 2 days, there was a 120-degree difference from being minus 60 to plus 60. Well, maybe, yeah, I guess that would be a, but guys, think about that. And think about the infrastructure and the pipes and everything else that goes through this dramatic temperature change. And why? Because when you warm up the globe, you get extreme weather. And guys, you know, certain things are inevitable. And AOC likes to tout them. So Judy, let's prove my point with clip 6, please.
As a matter of fact, it's not just possible that we will create jobs and economic activity by transitioning to renewable energy, but it's inevitable that we are going to create jobs. It's inevitable that we're going to create industry. And it's inevitable that we can use the transition to 100% renewable energy as the vehicle to truly deliver and establish economic, social, and racial justice in the United States of America.
And guys, it's inevitable that she's right, because we're going to prove it to you now with what Anheuser-Busch and Budweiser beer, how they are now making the inevitable evitable. And guys, the beer is being brewed with the help of wind power. And this was on the Super Bowl, and it just blew me away, because now everybody and their brother can see that wind turbines work. They create jobs. They save money. Hey, the future's here. Let's embrace it. So, Judy, let's have clip number 7, please. Look at that. Bud, look at the size of that turbine. A renewable world is in reach. Ay, ay, ay. Woo-hoo! Mamma mia. 100% renewable. Budweiser is now brewed from wind power. Any questions? Hey guys, it's been over 25 years since I had a beer, but you know what? I might have one just for the win. No, those days are over. But guys, you know, what's the one thing that the people in the Republican Party and especially Fox News are afraid of? They're afraid they're going to have to pay for the carbon that they put in the air. And guys, what's the best way to collect money on somebody that puts something in the air? You create a tax, right? Well, what's the big boogeyman for the Republican Party? Tax. Keep your hands off. Why do they want your hands off? So they can make more money. It's that simple. So they can burn coal, put more carbon in the air, make more money, and trick the simple folk. So, Judy, let's prove my point with a carbon tax with clip number 8, please.
A Green New Deal would provide massive investments in the clean energy infrastructure necessary to cut carbon pollution, creating good-paying jobs and revitalizing the economy. The basis of the proposal would be a carbon tax on polluters, creating incentives for companies to cut their use of fossil fuels and switch to clean energy. The revenue would then be invested in programs like job training and education, new construction, energy efficiency, and reforestation.
So guys, we're going to give them a choice. You can do what Budweiser did. You can say, you know what? I'm going to invest the money in the future of the company, of the country and the company, and we're going to get our energy from renewable sources instead of fighting it. You know, you got companies that insist on burning oil. Hey, you know what? You want to burn oil? Fine. Pay a tax for it. You're going to find out it's cheaper. It's going to be cheaper to use renewables in the long run. And everybody's starting to figure it out. except for the people that watch Fox News and the people that are in the Republican Party. Why? Because they've been tricked. They've been hosed. They've been conned by the best con man to ever come along. And guys, you know, radical socialism is an idea. And there's also the ideas of free enterprises. But what's really free? Free enterprise or free sunlight, free wind? You're starting to get the idea? Some things free, sometimes the free market is not really free, but the Republican Party wants you to think it is. So, Judy, let's prove it to everybody with clip number 9, please.
So we're both fighting for two very different visions of what our generation is going to look like, either embracing radical socialist ideas or re-embracing free enterprise, constitutional limited government ideas. But look, this is going to spend trillions of dollars that we don't have over a couple decades. It would totally destroy the coal and fossil fuel industry.
That's the idea.
With Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she's constantly wrong, but never in doubt.
Guys, when we play the full clip, we're going to make this guy look like a bozo. I mean, he's a bozo, but we're gonna doll him up. And of course, with Fox News and the polar vortex, what's the one thing that doesn't work when it's cold out? Well, according to Fox, it's solar. But guys, of course, on this show, we're gonna find out if they're telling the truth. And it's very rare on Fox that they do. But we're gonna start it off with clip number 10. So hit it, Judy.
If you're in the polar vortex, how are you going to stay warm? With solar panels?
Solar is not a replacement for fossil fuels now or anytime soon.
Wanna bet? We got islands in Hawaii
test
that
centers
get all
throughout the
their
United States
electricity
find that
from
photovoltaic
solar.
panels, which convert solar radiation into energy, successfully generate electricity in snow and other severe conditions.
Guys, you know, the one thing that we do on this show is we love to point out and cite our sources. And the next source is going to be from the government, from the EPA, telling everybody, not telling you, but proving to you that solar works even in a polar vortex. So who are you going to believe? Fox News or a climate scientist doing research for NASA and the government? Right, guys? So, Judy, let's have clip number, I think it was 10 or 11, whichever's the next one. Next one after.
If you're in the polar vortex,
next one.
how are you going to stay warm?
And while it may not sound like snow and solar go together, turns out they do. Thanks to DOE's Sunshot Initiative funding, regional test centers throughout the United States find that photovoltaic panels, which convert solar radiation into energy, successfully generate electricity in snow and other severe conditions.
Guys, what's that logo in the bottom right-hand corner? Huh? Wasn't that the EPA? So, but you know what, guys? Sometimes some people aren't smart enough to understand science. I mean, you got people like Uncle Joey, Kenny Johnson, you know, they just don't understand science. So sometimes you have to explain it to them like they're a little child. And sometimes maybe it's best if a little child explains the science of global warming to them. So, Judy, let's have a couple of, I don't know, 6 and 7 or 8-year-old kids try to educate the Republican Party and our dear leader, President Trump, about science. So, Judy, let's have the kindergarten version with clip 12, please.
In a greenhouse, sunlight shines in and warms up the air. When the energy tries to go out, it gets trapped in the glass, warming the air inside even more. Woo, that's hot. Well, The Earth's atmosphere works just like a giant greenhouse. It's huge. Sunlight gets reflected back by water vapor and also by greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane.
So the more greenhouse gases you add to the atmosphere, the more energy gets trapped. Makes sense, right?
And we've been adding a lot of greenhouse gases lately.
Look at that chart. Uncle Joey. Hey guys, you ever want to have fun with a climate denier? Ask him to show you a global cooling chart. You'll never hear from him again. And why? Because the science is certain. But guys, the last short clip is going to be a dose of reality from Bernie. And Bernie exposes the front men in the fossil fuel industry. These are the lobbyists. These are the guys that buy the government, that get the guys that get elected to vote the way they want them to. It's called buying the government. And guys, Bernie doesn't stand for it, and we won't either. So Judy, clip number 13, please.
Some of the swampiest creatures in D.C. are serving in high-level positions for Trump and taking care of the corporate interests they used to represent. Andrew Wheeler, who has been nominated to be the administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency, is nothing more than a front man for the fossil fuel industry.
That's all they are.
There is a revolution occurring in sustainable energy, but Wheeler, a climate change denier and coal industry lobbyist, is focused on the short-term needs of the fossil fuel industry.
So guys, you're starting to see how it works. You know, you got a con man. He brings in his cronies. They twist everything around, ass backwards. They get the simple folk to vote against their own interest. And we have a mess on our hands. But you know what? Now we're going to come to the full clip part, and we're going to go through everything. And I tell you, there's hope. There's good hope, and there's going to be a good future. So guys, let's have some fun. And like I said, you know, these are going to be, we went through the short versions. These are going to be the longer versions. And if you're on YouTube, you can just fast forward to stuff. All right, so Judy, let's have clip number 20, please.